Prime Minister Trudeau has appointed Bob Rae to be Canada's next ambassador to the UN. With more, I'm joined by Colin Robertson. He's a former Canadian diplomat and current vice president and fellow at the Canadian Global Affairs Institute. Colin, good morning. Good to see you.
Good to be with you, Marcia.
What's your reaction to this announcement this morning about Bob Rae?
Well, I think the cause of internationalism and the cause of Canada is well served with Bob's appointment. He is a multilateralist. His father served as ambassador to the UN. The multilateralism and internationalism is in Bob's blood. Over the last couple of years, he's done sort of yeoman service, putting attention first on the Rohingya, then the plight of the humanitarian refugees around the world. So his experience, he ran the Council of the Federation. He was Premier of Canada. He understands the politics. He loves internationalism and multilateralism. We need people now who believe in that cause, and Bob's one of them.
What do you see as some of his first challenges on the job?
Well, the first will be establishing a network. As you know, we ran for the Security Council. We didn't win, but we got 108 votes. So he'll build on it's in a sense, every ambassador, especially the UN, is a steward. And so he picks up the stewardship that from our previous ambassador, the contacts, that's important, first of all, figuring out. But Bob will know the issues. We've got things like the mandate for Syria coming up. I mentioned humanitarian issues, the refugee problem around the world. There's 100 million people seeking homes. Of course, we've got the COVID crisis. Mr. Trudeau put a lot of effort in the weeks leading up to the UN security vote to put attention by the UN on how we deal with the COVID crisis. That goes on. That'll be something that he'll deal with. Some people say because we're not in the Security Council, we don't matter. That's just not true. When we were on the Security Council, when we were on the, a few years ago, responsibility to protect was a big deal. We weren't on the Security Council, but our then ambassador, Alan Rock, pushed it through. Paul Heinbecker, who was our ambassador, again, not on the Security Council, pushed very hard and almost succeeded in convincing the Americans not to go into Iraq. So Canada can play an important role, but the quarterback for all that is the ambassador. And, Bob Rae, he's a builder. He'll get that, and he'll establish the networks, and I think he will make a difference at a time when multilateralism is under huge strain.
Tell us how Bob's career in politics made him a suitable candidate and ultimately the person who got this job.
Well, he's a liberal internationalist, and he's always reached out and a bridge builder like his father. That's what diplomacy is about, particularly at the UN. You've got to deal with 194 different ambassadors, and then there's the various interests that play into that. He's got the energy and the talent. He ran the Council of the Federation, so he understands how federalism works. And I think federalism, in fact, may be one of the ways we get our ways out of some of the problems that we're facing around the world today, in places like Ukraine.
Well, speaking of problems, in his new role, will he have, how will the China file play? Will he have much to do with Canada's relationship right now between the two countries, Canada and China, and would he have anything to do with Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor?
Sure. Well, China has an ambassador to the United Nations. They have a big delegation. China's playing a bigger and bigger role. I think they chair 4 of the 20 big committees now in the UN. So yes, he will have. He will deal with the Chinese ambassador and the Chinese delegation. And as I point out, the Chinese also are heading a number of other organizations within the United Nations body. China has something like 3,000 peacekeepers, for example. So, yes, he will play into it, and inevitably in conversations with the Chinese ambassador, who's a very senior member of the Chinese establishment, Bob will have an opportunity to raise other issues. But you do this through force of personality. That's why the personality of that ambassador really does matter. The Chinese will know that he has the confidence of the Prime Minister as a former leader of the Liberal Party and appointed by the Prime Minister, so they'll take him seriously as well.
Thank you so much for being with us. Colin Robertson. Colin is a former Canadian diplomat and current vice president and fellow at the Canadian Global Affairs Institute.